Ever feel like you're on a never-ending treadmill of goals? Trying to get good grades, win medals, or just survive another Monday? We're constantly chasing happiness, but when was the last time you actually caught it? I often wondered, what actually makes us happy? And after some research and a lot of jumping down rabbit holes, I found some answers that continuously popped up over and over again. One of these was success. And success looks different for different people. For high schoolers, it might mean getting into an Ivy League. For others, it's finding a parking spot close to the door at Costco on a Saturday. But usually, most people think the ultimate success in life is becoming wealthy and famous. So would a successful, wealthy, famous life really make us happy? Well, to my surprise, research shows that the average multimillionaire gave their life satisfaction an average rating of about 6, while low-income people earning around $30,000 or less gave their lives an average rating of about 4. Hold on a second. So multimillionaires, people with private jets and yachts, were only about 60% happy? That's like getting a C- in Happiness 101. So success and money and fame do make us happier, but clearly it wasn't the big secret to happiness. Other answers I found included spending more time on relationships, hobbies, and even, according to Aristotle, doing ethical things. Tons of studies prove that having and doing these things would make you happier. And just like the way I felt about success, I definitely agreed. But logically, I didn't believe that spending more time on relationships, hobbies, and being more ethical would make someone the happiest they could possibly be. Raise your hand if you think you have some good friends, some hobbies, and consider yourself ethical. Now raise your hand if you think your life is the happiest it could possibly be. At this point, some of you may think, maybe there's just no secret to happiness. After all, although success, wealth, relationships, hobbies, and doing ethical things do make us happier, none of these are a drastic contributor to overall happiness in life. So here is where we get to the secret. There's a concept called the hedonic treadmill, also known as hedonic adaptation. It sounds like a workout machine, but it means that no matter what happens, you will always return to a certain baseline level of happiness. In fact, a study was done where the happiness levels of people who won the lottery and people who got paralyzed were tracked. And these happiness levels actually returned to the same baseline after the initial emotions. And that's pretty crazy. I mean, imagine winning millions of dollars or becoming paralyzed. Your life has changed forever, but your happiness has not. Success and other life events aren't effective in overcoming our natural hedonic adaptation. So it doesn't change our happiness in the long term if we live in a bigger apartment or a dream house or even win the lottery, because we would be just as happy if we didn't. The way that most people go about trying to become happier is like constantly pulling on a rubber band. We're trying to get it into a new position, even though it's going to snap back to the same one every single time. So in order to raise our happiness levels, we must work with our hedonic adaptation, not against it. We can do this by actually raising our baseline level of happiness, our set point. Now here is the magic formula. Our baseline of happiness is determined 50% by genetics, 10% by personal circumstances, and 40% by our mindset. The 50% genetics part, well, let's just hope you got lucky there. But don't worry if your parents aren't the most happiest type of people, because the 10% for personal circumstance is somewhat in your control. This is where hard work and success comes into play, where it's important to be surrounded by encouraging friends and family members. Of course, life isn't always fair, and it's just going to throw obstacles at you sometimes. So your personal circumstance isn't completely in your control. The 40% for your mindset, however, is in our control, and that is the secret to happiness. And there's so many things that will contribute to our mindset, most of which you probably knew about already. For example, thinking positively, learning from our mistakes, having a growth mindset, being grateful, and many more. It's not enough to just look forward to and delay our happiness for those special days in our lives, like birthdays or vacations. Because 99% of the time we spend in our lives are filled with things we would consider normal and repetitive and maybe even boring. So tomorrow, when you wake up, remember to be grateful that there is somewhat affordable toilet paper we can use, and be grateful that fuzzy blankets exist. When you have to wake up at 6 a.m. for school or for work, focus on the sunrise instead of how sleepy or tired you are. Take a break from that endless treadmill, pun intended, and remember to be in the moment. We are often told that we need to work hard and suffer a stressful, busy life for the hopes of having a happier life in the future. But the future is uncertain while the present is confirmed. Every night, think about the life you have lived so far. Would you be happy if this was the end, or would you have wished that you lived the same life happier? So don't wait to be happy. Start small. Be grateful for the last cookie in the jar, for comfy socks, and maybe even Mondays. Okay, maybe not Mondays. I want to end the speech with a story my dad tells at dinner time. It's about a young girl in high school who wants to know how to live a happy life. She gets a time travel machine and decides to travel to when she's in university. After all, she thought, high school was boring. Why not just skip it? And then in university, she realized, you know what? University is kind of boring too. And so she skipped to when she had a job as an adult. And then she thought, you know what? Working is tiring. Why not just skip it? So she skipped to when she was retired. But retirement was boring too, and her body always ached. So she skipped again and found herself on a deathbed. And she realized that happiness wasn't waiting for you at the finish line. It's hidden in each step along the way. The choice is yours. Keep chasing happiness on the endless treadmill, or find happiness where you are right now. So I hope you enjoyed this moment, because I sure did. Thank you.